I have to open it up and I have to go to the live stream. Excuse me. Almost there.
It says it's streaming now live on YouTube.
Oh, good. Okay, thank you, Ed.
Okay, so am I good to go?
I think we have to wait 1 minute, or what we're redirecting. And we should be live.
I'm checking.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like I'm streaming us live on YouTube.
Okay.
But with that, then I will call the April 20th.
Oh, wait just a sec. I have to figure out how to mute the live stream because I'm getting echoing. All right, wait. Oh, I muted here. Okay. I think I'm good. Now, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, and I can hear you. All right. So I think we can open the meeting now.
Take 3. Okay, I'm going to open the meeting, the April 20th, 2020 meeting of the Fairport Industrial Development Agency. Call that to order and ask for a roll call attendance vote. So Donna Stefano.
Present.
Rob Gentner.
Present.
Leslie White.
Present.
And Kevin Clark is here, and we're waiting for Ken Rohr, who I believe will be joining us shortly. So we're going to dispense with public comment, period, because we are not connected to the public at this point. So we'll dispense with that. And we're going to wait for Ken for the approval of the February meeting minutes. We did not have a March meeting of the IDA. I'm going to switch things around a little bit since we do have guests on the line, and going to introduce the representatives from RDG Partners and Hamilton Stern Construction. And I think that what we'll do is we'll start with RDG and their application for consideration for sales tax exemption. And I think we have another one, as Ken just popped up there.
Yep, I'm on the phone anyways.
Okay, great.
So we are joined, so Ken Rohr is in attendance also. So Whitney, I guess, or Martha, if you want to intro.
Why don't I read into the record the summary, the project summary that I prepared for the board. RDG and Partners CPAs is a locally owned boutique accounting firm that offers tax, business planning, accounting, auditing, and wealth management services. RDG specializes in areas such as real estate, construction, professional services, and consulting. RDG was named to the 2019 Rochester Chamber Top 100 list of fastest growing privately owned companies in the Rochester and Finger Lakes region. They were founded in 2005 with two employees. They've experienced significant growth, and they now employ 42. Their RDG's 5-year strategic plan has the firm growing at a steady pace each year and expects to increase their staff by 10 within the next 3 years. Their current location cannot accommodate this growth, and RDG is looking at multiple locations for consideration for relocation. The proposed location is part of the Fairport Cannery LLC project, a redevelopment of an existing long vacant underutilized former industrial property in the village of Fairport. The Fairport IDA has provided a custom pilot to the owners of the Fairport Cannery LLC. and with the goal of creating a signature project in the heart of the village that will attract new business and create new jobs. That custom pilot is an incentive for tenants that require a high degree of certainty regarding their overall costs. The proposed sales tax exemption that is being requested this evening by RDG is an additional incentive to enable the project to move forward. They are seeking sales tax exemption. The total investment is $1.95 million. Sales tax exemptions on the build out, furniture, fixtures, and equipment is $78,000.
Okay.
So I get, Whitney, maybe if you want to tell us anything more that I didn't include in that.
Yeah, I think you covered it all. I guess 2 other points. On a personal note, I've been born and raised, lived in Fairport since I was 5. Absolutely love everything about it, and nothing would make me more excited than moving my business back. I started at a small practice in the village of Fairport and then moved to Pittsford and have grown, and now I'm hoping to come back. So on a personal note, I would love to be there and have always been a proud Fairport citizen. And then also just RDG and partners looking to move there. And we have also, I think it's important to know that we have a really solid relationship with Hamilton Stern. They have done some of our renovations to get us to where we could stay in this existing building for a while. So there's an established relationship there as well.
Okay, thank you.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
So board members, questions that you have on the application. As Martha said, we downloaded the file, so we have the complete packet, and we've all had it. I assume we've all had a chance to take a look at it. So what questions do any of you have for RDG?
Maybe Whitney, you can tell us.
I'm not accepting questions on the PPPL loan right now.
Yes, I can imagine. Yeah,
I
why
don't-
don't you tell us a little bit about how your business is functioning in this current environment, what considerations you've had with regard to this project in light of this, how it may have influenced it or not influenced it?
If I can just interrupt for a meeting, for a minute, Ken has joined the meeting by video now.
I think so.
Whoa.
Okay, sorry,
I would-
Whitney. Go ahead.
Sure, no problem. I would say, how we are functioning now, we fairly easily were able to convert our entire staff right in the beginning to a 100% remote environment, with the exception of a couple partners that are coming into the office. Everybody else is working remote. So I would say for us, it's been stay the course in terms of getting work done, and then functioning in an environment in which we're shifting gears and learning new things about the stimulus and loans related to that, so that we can help guide our clients. So in terms of this project, obviously the discussions had started before all this. I would say a couple month interruption we're financial accountants. We know how to plan. We've been planning. So I would say we aren't, looking to make any drastic changes as a result of this as it is now. Our bigger concerns are more timing. So it was actually one of the questions I had was, depending on when construction is allowed to begin, we may have an issue with when the project can get done and when we can move in based on what our seasonal business can move. So I guess some of my questions were, once this is granted, how long is it, intact for?
How long is it intact for? There is no expiration on the approval.
No expiration. Okay.
No.
That was my question.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, typically when should the project move forward, there is paperwork involved, as there always is with New York State Tax and Finance. And that the ST, is it 60? ST
60, yes, ST 60.
Typically has an expiration date, but it's related exactly to the project. So if you tell us it's a 7-month project, that's how long we date the ST.
But if the project can't start for 4 months and it turns into a 12-month project,
That's fine.
extend it?
Yep.
Correct. Yep.
Okay, okay.
We probably wouldn't issue the paperwork until you started your construction. But it's best, now you'll be ready to go when we do get those, should the project be approved, you'd be ready to move forward at any time.
I see. Did I answer your question about how we're functioning and decision-making in this environment?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
I have a couple of questions, and you've answered two of them. But I wanted to know what, if any, connection you had to the village of Fairport or Fairport, and also want to know how business was making out at this time. So you've answered both of those pretty well. What about your current location? Do you own the facility where you're located now, or are you leasing in the
Yes,
Pittsburgh?
we own it. We own it. And we have somebody that is interested in leasing it. However, we're not 100% sure where they stand considering the current situation. But prior to all this, we had somebody interested in leasing it. So we're hoping that still is the plan.
Okay. And so then, ideally, if things were able to start, I assume you'd want to be in ahead of next year's tax season?
That would be our goal, yes.
Okay.
I'd like to point out to the board that we did, as required by New York State, we do run it through our benefit to incentive model. That's the model that was developed by the Center for Governmental Research and is the industry standard across the state. And the benefit to this project it's a benefit to incentive ratio of 31-to-1.
Which is very high. Yeah.
This
Incredibly.
is exactly I'm very excited about the project. I highly recommend that the board approve it. This is exactly the kind of tenant that we're looking for when we were working with the cannery, someone that would bring in jobs that are well-paying jobs that will have a great spillover effect to our Main Street. And clearly they're very resilient jobs that we've seen. It's now about resiliency when we're coming back, when we're reopening. And so clearly this is an ideal tenant for the project. And I think they'd be a great addition to the village, and you vet them out on the benefit to incentive and it works.
What about any approvals that would be needed on this project? And this goes to Hamilton Stern as well. Are there any planning board issues, or was everything resolved during the cannery's site plan approval?
I could speak on behalf of both Whitney and I. This is Justin Hamilton. I believe the only approval that would be needed would be building permit approval for the interior build out.
Yep.
The facade, there is some facade work that would need to be done. I'm assuming that the Village of Fairport has an architectural review board of some sort.
That's
No?
not true.
Oh, okay.
We don't.
So,
However, we have a planning board that takes a considerable interest in the facades.
they're gonna want to see the facade, and that. So I think that would be the only approval that would be needed. We could start construction prior to the start of the facade approval. But that would be the only thing that I see. It really is. It's about cutting doorways into the side of the building and entrances. So
don't need to go back to the planning board, which is a good thing. I mean, just for process purposes.
sure. Yep.
So, okay. Whitney, the hours of work. I mean, I'm assuming you're basically 8 to 5 operation, and I'm thinking in terms of parking and other uses within that area. Are there times during the busy season or peak season where you have a full house of people that are staying in the office and working late?
Yes, during tax season, so I would say third week in January through April 15th. It wouldn't be unusual to see, I would say 10 to 15 cars. You know, a lot of us have young families. We go home for dinner and then log back on from home after, stuff like that. So it's definitely not everyone, but there is a percentage of people that are here in the evenings. Yes, just for those couple months.
Now that you've mastered all of this remote technology,
Yes.
hard to tell what next year is going to look like. So,
Yeah, right.
all right. Other board members, what do we have for questions?
I don't have any.
I have a
think
question.
you asked a bunch of good ones, and I'm satisfied with it.
I don't have any either. I feel the same as Ken.
Okay. Leslie, you good?
You're muted, Leslie.
You did a great job asking my questions, Kev.
No. All right. Rob?
No, I think Martha said it really well. Actually, this is kind of exactly what we want to see here. The ratio is phenomenal as far as the return. And, you know, I'll ask council if this is something I should abstain from. You know, John Rizzo, one of the founding partners, is a friend and someone that gives me tax advice. So I can easily separate that with a project like this. That I don't feel there's a risk, but I am fully supportive of moving forward with it.
You're muted, Ed.
Ed, unmute.
Sorry, thank you. Only if you were receiving some type of financial remuneration on something like this, but you're not. So just because you have a personal relationship with them doesn't impact it at all. It's not a
Right. And historically, you know, we're a small village, we're a small town. Somebody always knows somebody and is friends with somebody that to come before us. So as Ed said, unless there's some sort of other interest, then it's not an issue.
No other interest at all.
Okay. All right. So anything else for Whitney or RDG? Okay. All right. Whitney, you can welcome to stay on, or if you want to hop off, it's fine. We're going to move over to Hamilton Stern now.
Well, wait, we
And,
want to vote on Whitney. There's,
I thought we were going to vote at the end of our meeting.
no, these are both separate apps, so we should take the vote now on this.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the sales tax exemption for partners for 75 North Main Street? Anyone?
I'll move.
So moved.
We have a motion by Donna Stefano and a second by Leslie White. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? And that motion carries. So you have your sales tax exemption.
Great. Thank you, everyone. Stay
We look
well.
forward to seeing you here.
I look forward to being there. Thank you.
Good luck
Okay.
with your violin lesson.
Thank you. I didn't make it home in time, so
Oh, I'm
I won't be
sorry.
helping. But no, that's okay. It was something else. So anyways, thank you all.
And we'll talk this week, Whitney, about
Okay.
how to move forward from this point. Okay?
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so Martha, do you want to start off again by reading for Hamilton Stearns the recommendation,
Sure.
budget summary?
Yep. Hamilton Stern Construction is a locally owned full-service construction company offering services in commercial and residential construction and consultation services. Their portfolio includes residential, retail, industrial, office, education, healthcare, and multifamily housing. Some of their examples include Radio Social, the Royal Car Washes, the Bonadillo Group, Rochester Dermatology, UVAR Thompson Health, Wildbriar Estates, Keuka Housing Council, and Blossom Village. They were founded in 2010 with 3 employees. Hamilton Stern has experienced significant growth and have outgrown their current location. And they are also considering several locations for relocation that would provide suitable space for offices, conference rooms, workshop, and storage area. And as proposed, the project is projected to bring 45 employees to the village of Fairport and create 2 new jobs within 2 years. Again, it's at the Fairport Cannery location where we earlier had provided a custom pilot that acts as an incentive to attract tenants. And these sales tax exemptions are a further incentive to bring the project to the village. The total project amount is $1.49 million. They're looking for sales tax exemption on the build out, furniture, fixtures, and equipment of approximately $48,000. Based on the benefit incentive model, the benefit incentive ratio is 20-1.
Okay. Okay, Justin, you want to tell us a little about your project and fill in any blanks that Martha may have missed?
Well, again, I'll second what Whitney said. Martha did a wonderful job explaining about our company. And we have a lot of similarities to the way that RDG actually was formed. It's part of the reason why we've been attracted to them, and they became our accountants. We're a boutique style construction firm. My partner Chris and I, we were friends together. We both went to RIT. We actually came from opposite ends of New York State. I'm from the Albany area. He's from Orchard Park, and both of our wives grew up in Pittsford. That's what brought us to this area. First me, and then he met his wife at my he met his wife at my wedding. So we completely set that up. But you know, we too like the village setting of Fairport. You know, we've created a place. We're in the village of Pittsford right now, or just outside the village. Not necessarily within walking distance. I mean, you have to go up and around Monroe Avenue. We're kind of in a unique location near Sutherland Auto Group, where they have the building down near the canal.
Right.
So we'd have to go up and over to walk into the village. So one thing that certainly attracted us to Fairport, one is the ability to expand. Two is it's very close to our houses. We both live in Pittsford, and the fact that you guys are, you know, you're so development friendly in Fairport, and I got to tell you, that's reassuring. You know, one thing not to speak bad about Pittsford, but I feel like they should take notes from what you guys have done over the years and create more of a walking environment where people want to hang out both on the weekends and during the work week. And, you know, that's really what's attracted us to the location, or the proximity to restaurants and shops and other businesses, and not, you know, the cannery building itself is, you know, it's the possibilities there are unlimited. And for us, that's exactly what we want to see. We want to see a big open building that we can pretty much do whatever we want. We have an interior designer on staff, and she's actually been working diligently on coming up with a layout that fits both us and RDG. And she's also been working on the facade, and, you know, that gets us super excited about the project. So, yeah, we're excited. It certainly gives us somewhere where we can continue to expand. Chris and I are actually in the process of buying another business, which has a lot of similarities to what we do now. It's not necessarily a construction business, but more of a development side. And if that happens, it'll be another 12 employees that we'll be bringing to the area as well. And there's a very good chance that that's going to happen. So we would definitely need the amount of room that we have designed for now. We actually have the space designed to bring on those 12 additional employees. So that's not counting. Go ahead.
How many square feet are you currently looking at there?
12,000.
Okay.
And right now we have about 4,000 square feet of office, 3,500 square feet of warehouse that we rent from our neighbors from Sutherland. And the other business has about 3,000 square feet. So it would give us the ability to have another 2,500 square feet of additional space. The layout that we have now, we've kind of morphed into over the years. The building that we're in is the old Three Crowns gift shop, if you're familiar with the village of Pittsford, which was built in the late 60s. It's a cool little building. It's got a lot of neat architecture on the outside. And when we started, we had the front showroom area as our office, and we expanded into the warehouse, and then eventually we kicked our warehouse next door and took over the rest of the building about 2 years ago. So we're completely out of room. We've been on a trajectory of hiring at least 2 to 3 people per year, and we don't want to stunt our growth. It's been, we're growing organically. We have great customers, and we're growing with them, which is wonderful. And we want to continue to do that. And right now we're impeded by sheer size.
So how is your business doing with the shutdown right now? Do you have any projects that are working, or are you?
90% of our work is essential. So 90% of the projects that we have right now are active. We had, there's only 2 jobs that shut down. One of them is actually, we have one guy there working. It's a small boutique fitness studio that we're building up the street from us. And it's still going on. He's there working, he's installing tile. So we're still pushing that one forward. So the only one that's shut down right now is the Royal Car Wash we're building in Canandaigua. That's the only project that's shut down. We do a lot of affordable housing, and affordable housing is considered essential business right now. That's really, that market alone has accommodated for probably 80% of our growth. So, that's a market that lets us forecast into, 2021 and 2022. So that's good. It allows us to forecast pretty far out with our work and not have to, rely on what's going to happen in the next 6 months. We're planning for, late 2021 right now and early 2022, which is great.
Yep.
So that part of us is confident and makes us feel good. Even with the COVID situation that goes on now, we can continue to work. But no one has a crystal ball on what's going to happen in the future. So that has us a little worried. But at the same time, we do have a good group of customers. I think everybody's going to come out of this pretty whole and want to continue to do projects.
Good. Tell us a little about how you mentioned warehouse. How is this going to be in the proposed location? How's that going to work with office space, warehouse space, material storage, equipment storage, workshop area? I mean, what does your firm do that is going to occupy those kind of spaces, or how much of those spaces are you going to take?
So we won't have, if any storage, outdoor storage at all, it'll be minimal. Currently, we don't have any outdoor storage. Inside, we have about 3,000 to 3,500 square feet of warehouse. The warehouse that we have now has about 1,000 square foot wood shop in it, and the rest of it is just storage. We're actually trying to condense our warehouse. The way that this is laid out next door to us is not very efficient. So the way that we have it designed for the future is very efficient. So we can actually reduce the amount of square footage that we have. So about 3,000 square feet of the 12 is warehouse and shop, and the rest of it is office.
Okay.
We make our money with office. We don't make our money by storing equipment and scaffolding and everything. We sub a lot. On the commercial side, we sub probably 90% of our projects out. So the residential side, we do self-perform. So we keep a small amount of equipment and tools and stuff for the residential side, but we don't do a lot on the commercial side other than manage the projects.
Okay, so you have 40 some odd employees. How many of them are going to be working out of this location? I'm guessing a lot of them are tradespeople that are going to go straight to the project sites.
Correct. Most are trade people. 15 to 20 is what we typically have in the office, with superintendents and project managers coming in and out. But 15 to 20 is what we would see in the office. And then the real reason we have this space designed for us is for those 12 additional employees that would be coming from the other firm, as well as additional project managers and office staff that we do want to hire when we make the move.
Okay. What is your ideal timeline for this? I know that there's a lot of things in flux, but what might you be thinking if all went well?
I think conceptually we got a great plan. We would have to get our staff here. We have an interior designer, so she's not an architect. So I know that the village would require stamped plans. Ideally, we'd have an architect finalize those plans in the next month or two and start construction immediately. The RDG's got a real strict timeline. They either have to be in by late December, early January, or they won't move until after April. It just, with tax season, it wouldn't be conducive to moving. So,
Right.
I mean, I could see an easy 7 to 8 month construction build. This is a very high-end build out for both firms, for both us and for them, with a lot of detail, including the facade work. So you run those numbers backwards, we're sort of already out of time. And I don't know when the ban is going to be lifted on non-essential projects. So I could see easily getting pushed into June start date. If we don't start in June, then, we'd want to start in June, but they won't move in until probably April. So ideally we would have started 2 months ago, let's put it that way, especially with the interior work.
Okay. Martha, add anything or board member comments?
I'm good.
Donna?
No questions or comments on my end.
All right. Rob?
Justin, just one question. So am I understanding the two of you, your entity and RDG, you're going to take up the entire space of 75 North Main?
We are taking up about a little over half. We take
Right.
about 25,000 of I think it's 42,000 square feet.
Right, there's still a space, there's the front end, the 2,500 square feet that's at the front of the building. Matt Lester is in negotiations with a restaurant that will be a terrific addition. Then there's an additional space, I think about maybe about 13,000. And Matt is currently negotiating with a local, another local firm that's done so well that they need additional space. So that, hopefully we'd see them back very soon to fill that second space. So there'd be 4 tenants in total in the property, the retail space out front, another tenant, then RDG, and then Hamilton Street.
It'd be,
Okay.
that would be a true mixed use parcel with the, the varying businesses you have. Couple that with the Parse Avenue building across the way, and it's a great mixture of restaurants and business users. We would all complement each other, which would be really neat.
Right. One of the things when I first started talking with both Whitney and Justin is I pointed out that we've got, in addition to the walkability and the entertainment aspects, we've had a significant amount of investment in housing of all types that would be very attractive to their employees. There's going to be a very large project that's going to go in just north of Whitney, a Jim Barbado project that's similar to the Creekstone out on 31. We've got people like Joel Barrett's $5 million investment and some high-end great housing right on the canal. So, the village really is an ideal location for it's a draw, I would think, for Justin's employees. That they're going to be pleased to work here, to live here, and invest here. So that's what we're all about.
Cool.
Yeah, good friends of ours used to own Campagne Restaurant, the Cristoforis, who are Fairport natives and been the whole life. So we're very familiar with Fairport. We spend a lot of time there. A lot of good restaurants.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, Leslie, anything?
All sounds good to me.
Okay. Ken?
No questions, no problems.
Okay, I guess I would ask for a motion then to approve the Hamilton Stern request for sales tax exemption for their proposed property at 75 North Main Street.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Rob, second by Ken. Any further discussion? Okay, let's go. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, motion carries. You have the sales tax exemption.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
We look
Great.
forward to having you join our village.
Absolutely.
All right, Justin, we'll be in touch. We'll get you in connected with Ed and get ready to go. Okay?
Perfect, Martha. Appreciate it. Thank you for your help.
Thank you. Now you can stay on if you'd like, but, or you can just watch the live stream. It's up to
Sounds
you.
good.
We'll talk soon.
Have a great night.
Thank you.
You
Bye now.
too.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so now we'll get back to the agenda and let me get back up to where we were, we need to be. I'm going to ask for a motion to approve the February 24th IDA minutes. And I believe Rob was not there, but otherwise we were all there. So
I'll move to approve the February meeting minutes.
I'll second.
comments, corrections, or discussion on the minutes? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions?
Abstention from Rob here.
Move on to the financial reports. Now we're going to be approving the financials from both February, both March and April, since we did not have a March IDA meeting. So resolution 2020-3, authorizing payment of the March bills.
Having reviewed them in detail, I move payment of the March bill.
I'll second that.
Second it.
Any questions regarding the bills? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, it carries. Next, we'll move on to resolution 2020-4, authorizing payment of the April bills. Can I have a
Having
motion?
reviewed them in detail, I move payment of the bills for April.
I'll second.
Okay. Any questions or discussion or anything from Martha regarding any of those bills?
What you will see there is the large payment to the Southwest Bank project. That's the project, that payment was made payable to the village. That's part of the grant process that we're going through with regard to the significant improvements on the Southwest Bank. We funded that, and you'll see in the next page that with cash balances, we had a CD that matured April 10th. And so that check was funded with that maturing CD. So.
Okay. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next, we'll move to the cash and investment reports.
Right. So that's where you see that $100,000 CD matured April 10th. That was rolled into the checking account and funded the 150. So as of today, that the balance due on the Bicentennial Gateway project is $350. That money won't come into, won't go out until next year when the north side is started.
Okay. And I guess the P&Ls are under the financial statements. I had a couple of things on that, but So also the financial statements. Martha, do you want to explain the $40,000 advertising expense?
Right. And before we get there, I apologize. Within this board package, I did not include the investment report, but you all had received it under separate cover.
For Tompkins.
Right. Okay. Yes. On the P&L statement there, what you look in one of the large items that is $40,000 that's classified for advertising and marketing. That was our funding of the Dollars for Scholars. We've undertook that to honor Donna Yaman, but it's considered a marketing expense because one of the objectives of it was to keep our name out there in the community on a regular basis. And so we'll be out there for 40 years. So that's a good thing. That's a very good thing.
Okay.
There is a large line item for engineering service. You'll see that. We talked about this before. That is, again, part of our contribution to the Southwest Bank project. We do not own the property. Therefore, we can't capitalize that expense, and instead it runs through the P&L.
And now, what is our total engineering budget for that project? Can you tell me that? We're looking at $10,000 as a budgeted amount, but that's the 6-month amount. Was it $20,000 we were going to spend? 10 and 10.
No, I believe it's more like 48, isn't it? I'd have to, if you can bear with me, I can pull up a balance sheet. Or,
because we know we had extra service charges we approved.
Right.
So I just want to see how those two numbers stacked up. But if you want to get back to us, that's fine.
Well, I just was successful. Right. The original contract was 52,000 and the additional was 18,900, bringing it to a total of 87,900.
Okay. Of which we've expended 31,000
this year. There had been some payments in prior.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Well, not that. Yeah, there were some.
From prior to October, we did some. Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. That was all my questions. Anybody else have any questions on any of the financials? Okay.
None from me.
So we'll move into old business, and we're going to have an attorney update on the CASA project, CASA properties on 103 North Main.
Yeah, so with regards to CASA, we signed a new note and actually had them pay it down by, correct me if I'm not wrong, the check was for 100,000?
That's right. I did receive a $100,000 check from CASA to pay down the balance on the $250,000 note.
So now only 150,000 is outstanding. So that was good news for the IDA. And then the other project is the 4 parking spots over by the Village Inn. Originally, we thought maybe because of the COVID crisis, he would not be wanting to move forward with it, but they do. He still wants to purchase it. For the purchase price is $10,700. And we entered into a contract, so now we're just moving to close. Hopefully, if not this week, then by next week we'll close on that, and those 4 parking spots will be transferred over to Village Inn. So.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Any questions for Ed on any of that? All right. One other old business item I wanted to follow up on is just our economic development study and how that is or is not progressing.
I have not heard anything because it's primarily, it was going to be run concurrently with the comp plan. and given the inability to get people, the whole point of a comp plan is to gather the public together for their input. So it's
So
on hold.
it's on pause.
It's on pause.
Pause.
On pause, yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Any other old business, Martha, for IDA?
No. I just wanted to, one of the things I had sent under separate cover, and I think I'll bring it up here at this IDA meeting, is that you received letters that the Erie Canalway Heritage Corridor sent to NIPA with regard to reopening the canal. And I'm bringing that up because one of the things I want to ask you about is a consideration for if the IDA would like to weigh in on encouraging NIPA to move forward and get the canal open as soon as possible. It would make sense to have that come from us because the IDA is partner of the Southwest Bank project, the bicentennial, and we received the grants from Canal Corp and with regard to that project. So, if you've had a chance to read that, I've also been on a canal conference planning call recently, and they've expressed concerns that NIPA's interest in opening the canal isn't quite aligned with the Canal Corp. I want to be mindful we're live streaming. And so we don't have a date that the canal will be opening. Originally, it was scheduled for May 15th. This is going to, of course, have a big impact on directly on the Colonial Bell, for example. I expect that the Rochester Boat Club would be impacted directly as well. And again, all of our tourist business would be negatively impacted by this. So just wanted to get your thoughts if we wanted to just send along a letter or not. I don't know that the village has, but just wanted to bring it up for discussion. Should we encourage NIPA to open it as soon as possible in the interest of the village?
Yeah, I don't know how much difference it'll make, but I think it makes sense to join the chorus of folks making that request and advocating for the opening, whenever it may be.
Yeah, I can't think of any reason not to. And like Rob said, it may or may not help, but it's important to us. It's important, and we should just make sure people are aware that this is important to us.
Okay.
Agree.
Thought too is if they hear from up and down, if they hear from a variety of different places and they start to link them together, they'll see that this is not just an isolated impact, and maybe that'll be more meaningful in making the big decision to do something.
One of the things that came up in the discussion was that maybe limited opening, but not the end to end. So it's really, it's anyone's guess right now. So I think to your point, Rob, as more communities along the canal, make it known how important it is, it can't hurt. So I'll go ahead and draft a letter on behalf of the board and send that.
Great. Yep.
Thank you.
And I'm happy to sign if you need it signed. So.
Okay, great. That would be wonderful.
Okay. All right, that's it for old business. The new business was for the RDG and the Hamilton Stern tax exemptions, and we have acted on each of those. Is there any other new IDA business?
No, that's enough, isn't it?
It's plenty.
It was great. It's very exciting.
If I may, real quick, Martha,
next month,
how did that come?
Well, and
how did that come to be? What a great fit.
Working with Matt, and again, really getting that pilot in place, and that was they pushed us, we pushed back, we ended up in a good place. I remember you guys, you deliberated it quite a bit, and in particular, certain components of it, but that's how he told us. He said, we need to be able to market this property, and because it's a they can go anywhere, really. And so with offering that pilot, really makes a difference. And that is exactly how, you know, he's out there. Matt is, I talk to him regularly, and you know, I'm excited about the third tenant that he might bring in, and the fourth tenant over there. And I just, it's just working hand in hand, and making sure we do what we can without giving away the store to bring, you know, those types of projects to the village. So it's very exciting, and it's all, it's, you know, years of planning, and Kevin and Ken especially can talk about that. This is the result of years of planning in the village, and this is exactly where we were going. This was the vision. So it's very exciting, very exciting.
Cool. All right, any other IDA business? How about a
No.
motion to adjourn the IDA meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Rob, second by Ken. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you. Whoop. Stay on though. We're gonna, as you know, because of Executive Order 202.1, the Fairport Urban Renewal Agency meeting is closed to the public. Therefore, we are required to live stream it. So we'll go on and move on to the urban renewal meeting.
Okay. All right, I will call the April 20th, 2020 meeting of the Fairport Urban Renewal Agency together and take a roll call attendance. Donna Stefano,
Present.
Rob Gentner,
Here.
Leslie White,
I'm here.
and Ken Rohr.
Here.
We'll dispense with public comment since the meeting is not currently open to the public. And I'd like to ask for an approval of the March 23rd, 2020 meeting minutes. I believe we were all in attendance.
Move to approve the minutes.
I'll second it.
Motion by Donna, second by somebody. Ken. Any comments, corrections, or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Excuse me. All right, so we'll move on to financial reports, starting with Resolution 2023, which is payment of the URA March bills.
Having reviewed them in detail, I move payment of the March bills for the URA.
I'll second.
Is there any questions or discussion regarding those bills? All in
I was
favor?
hoping to hear a little bit about Amy Edwards if we could.
Well, I was going to wait till we went on to the April ones, because what you'll see is that we've each, in March and in April, we closed out 2 front porch grants. And I probably have 3 apps that I'm working on, for 3 applications for front porch grants at this time.
Amy is on East Street, is that correct?
Okay. I'd have to look it up, yeah. Oh, yes, she is the one. Yes, she's on the
She's up
north
there.
end. Yes.
Near the
It was a
firehouse.
long time coming, and then we finally got it. Yes, she finally got the project closed. We got the required documentation and the, yes. Yes.
Okay.
And then we have another one in April as well.
Okay.
That we paid out. But,
Awesome.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution 2020-4, authorized payment of the April URA bills.
Having reviewed them in detail, I move payment of the April URA bills.
And I'll second that.
Any questions or discussion regarding those bills? You mentioned another front porch grant, Martha?
Right, that's right. That was Matt and Christy White. I don't recall where they are right now, but we're getting interest all over the village, which is fantastic. We have another one that I'm working on for West Church Street, and they were,
Not me.
nope. They had proposed removing some ornamental brackets and replacing it with post, and I consulted with Bill Poirier, the town historian, who actually dug up some old photos of the house. And then when I shared them with the applicant, they decided not to do the posts. They were going to retain the brackets, and actually the wife asked if they could actually put the whole porch on because it's been removed. So it's fantastic to have that program. So.
Okay.
This one, I believe this one was on Durant Place, Martha?
I will have to, I've got two PCs going
I think
here.
that's the case.
Okay.
And they did a nice job on this porch, imagining it to fit in a tight spot.
Oh, yes, that's right. That's another, it was very clever that what they did there. And
Yep.
that was Todd Jones Construction. He does a really good job of, work. He promotes the Front Porch Grant Program. And you're right, Ken, thank you. That's right. There was no porch. This, I believe, if you look at it, Ken, it looked like it may have been a garage, this part of the house at one point. It had been converted into, living space, and then they put a porch on it. So again, great program. Fun to work with this program.
Good. All right, so all in favor of payment of the April URA bills?
Aye.
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 Opposed? That carries. Next, we'll go to Resolution 2020-3, authorizing payment of the March Section 8 bills.
Having reviewed them in detail, I move payment of the March Section 8 bills.
I'll second that.
Any questions or discussion regarding those bills? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
That motion carries. I'll move on to Resolution 2020-4, authorizing payment of the April Section 8 bill.
Having reviewed them in detail, I move payment of the April Section 8 bills.
I will second that.
Any questions or discussion regarding those bills? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, that takes care of those. Moving on to cash balances and financial statements. Any highlights of those you want to call out, Martha?
Not on, the cash balances are fairly steady, no significant activity in those. Let's see. No,
I did have,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I had a question on the expenses.
Yep.
The very last one of the expenses, other professional services, the $8,300. What was
That's our
that?
bookkeeper. Our bookkeeper.
Okay.
And she's phenomenal, very proactive, really digs into the numbers, does a great job for us. So very pleased with her services. Because as you know, we haven't had an admin for a while. So that's what that is.
Okay. All right. Anyone have any questions, comments regarding the financials? All right, we can move into the URA loans. 3 loans are all current and have not taken a pause on their payments that was offered to them.
That's right. These loans, again, were offered, as you recall at our prior meeting, we the board voted to offer a 90-day pause for our borrowers. And these loans here in the URA portfolio continue to make their payments. They declined that offer. These are all current. They're all secured by mortgages. So there's very minimal risk in this portfolio.
Okay. All right, anything else on loans? So we can move into the Section 8 housing report.
Right. It's a little bit different format this month. Jen, we're all working remotely, so Jennifer was unable to, the server that contains some of their data, she wasn't able to draw the same data out, but in exchange, she also had an opportunity to provide additional detail about what's going on in that program.
Yes, you did.
And we haven't missed a beat. We are very active still with that program. Everybody's working remotely. The inspector is not doing inspections. However, he's been repurposed to handle incoming phone calls, which have been numerous, what with all the changes in income and so forth. And our wait list is still open. So couple of things, just curiosity. HUD has directed us that stimulus checks and extra unemployment are not counted as income. Therefore, our clients would still continue to receive their normal payments.
That's great.
That's the current status of that. It's busy. It's very busy because a lot of HUD regulations come. Jen explained a little bit more in her memo about how it's a very, as you know, regulated and process. So you have to be very careful how you do things. But fortunately, we're continuing to make all of our payments and continuing to take people off the wait list and try to get them housed. And I shared with you earlier an email from Minds of Parenting, who complimented our staff on our team on their work in ensuring people. There's people that desperately need housing or to be removed from their current situation, and our team really does a good job and cares very much about these clients, and they were very successful in getting someone housed, and it makes a difference in people's lives. So
and I think the board would like to formally recognize that. I know that these letters of recognition for the staff efforts have gone out, and but I think that it's probably warranted just going on the record on how appreciated under difficult circumstances that they are, the work that they're putting in and the work that they're doing. So if you could add that, I think the board would all agree that these guys are going above and beyond, and they've kind of learned how to do this remotely stuff.
Yep.
So hope they come back to the office someday. So.
I know, I miss them. So yes, I will absolutely share that with them and make it part of the minutes. Definitely.
Yes,
please.
Hey, on that note too, Martha, how's everybody doing? Do you get the sense that everybody's adapting pretty well from an emotional standpoint, as far as not being in the same office and convening physically that way?
I think we have I would say the first 2 weeks, although we had all our tools, it's very, you're untethered, and you need to you feel very, very unproductive. Although you are, it's just trying to find a new normal.
You wrote some great emails at the end of every day, though.
I did. I thank you. Or I mean, thank you. Thanks. Yeah, because I wanted it was so, I wanted to try to stay in touch throughout the process and let the board know how we were working through that. So that was fun. But now that we've gotten settled down and everybody's kind of got their own thing going, they've got their spaces at home, and you know, it's still days you can feel productive, days you don't feel productive. I'm sure everyone that's working from home, you know, other than Kevin, that's, you know, you probably, I imagine.
I wish I was working from home, honestly.
So I don't know if you guys have felt the same, Donna or Ed,
Oh, yeah.
Rob.
Yeah.
It's
Highly productive days, and then days you really question, you know, the ability to focus, and the ability for your mind to not be consumed with a lot of other stress of just actually completing, you know, your normal daily tasks. It's significant.
right.
I miss the ability to walk away from my desk and completely leave it behind, you know?
Yes.
Mm.
I've started
Go find
putting
some way
everything
to-
away
yeah.
at night. I unplug the laptop, I turn the monitor to the wall because it just bleeds into everything.
Yeah.
So, but Rob, you work from home a lot, don't you? So perhaps it's.
I've been doing this, yeah, ever since, well, gosh, over a decade I've been doing this, working from home. And what's interesting is my job that I just started is consulting a number of state and local government agencies. So,
Oh, wow.
you know, you're going through this on a smaller scale relatively, but it's still a major change, Martha, with the team that we have here, you know, working with some of the state agencies, and you think of the armies of folks that have traditionally always walked into an office, and yeah, the logistical hardware setup, but then also just the culture piece, right? Folks that are used to managing a team in an office setting are now getting their hands on doing that remotely and improving every day, and with good days and bad days, and easy days and hard days. So that's why I was curious. I'm glad to hear you're doing pretty well with it. I thought that newsletter, there was comedy in there, but I think it was just a good way also for us to get input to us, but also I think it's a good way to highlight the team, and that's
Yes.
important right now.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I agree.
And our staff recognition certainly goes for you as well, Martha, because, you know, everybody's just mentioning the updates and stuff, and you're doing a great job and keeping us in the loop, and keeping us updated on what's going on. So the appreciation certainly extends to you too. So
Thank you. Thanks.
Yep.
Thanks. I'm still having fun, still loving it, and it's great. So
Good.
thank you. Thanks.
all right, any old business for urban renewal?
I didn't have any.
New business urban renewal?
No. We've had enough.
Adjournment urban renewal? Anyone want to adjourn?
I'll
Oh,
move to
so
adjourn.
moved.
Donna move, Leslie second, all in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Okie dokie. Next, we will move into the LDC. With that, I'll call the April 20th, 2020 meeting of the Fairport Local Development Corporation to order. Take a roll call attendance. Donna Stefano,
Here.
Rob Genthner,
Here.
Leslie White,
Here.
Ken Rohr,
Here.
and Kevin Clark is here. So we're going to dispense with public comments, as this meeting is not open to the public. And I'll ask for, we did have an LDC meeting last month, so I will ask for the approval of the March 23rd meeting minutes.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion Leslie, second by Rob.
Go Patty.
Any comments, corrections, discussion? All in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
I think somebody had to go outside.
Yep.
Yeah.
Resolution 2020-3, authorization payment of the LDC March bills.
Having reviewed them in detail, I move payment of the March bills for the LDC.
Okay,
I will make note that we received a refund on Sparky.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
a full
Say
refund?
that again?
Oh, yes. Sparky the Unicorn, we're in contract to bring him here as part of the Lift Bridge Initiative. That was supposed to be April 9th. So we did cancel that and we'll hopefully reschedule later in the year, but pursuant to the contract, we received our full deposit back.
All right, speaking of that, we hired a consultant to work with us on
Right.
some of that. What's the status of that? Is that on pause as well?
Yes, that's on pause as well. So I believe she submitted timesheets for about $270 to date on that. And we haven't processed that yet, but with where we are, we don't know how to move forward with regard to the events surrounding the lift bridge.
The bridge is going to be open before we can go outside and walk over it.
Right. So,
God help us.
All right,
yeah,
did
so
we
that's
vote?
on pause, and then we do have, I believe it's about, if we're back on the, when we get to the cash, we'll see that we have about $43,000 left in the lift bridge fund that we
Okay.
can then refocus on our efforts.
Did we vote on that?
no, I think you were waiting for a
I'll
second.
second it.
Okay, Ken motion, Rob second. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Move on to resolution 2020-4, authorizing payment of the April LDC bills.
Having reviewed them in detail, I move payment of the April bills for the LDC.
I'd like to note that the payment, the $20,000 payment is payable to the Village of Fairport, not the Village of Fairport IDA. So that's an error on the resolution. That is the community support for the train viewing platform, which is under construction.
Okay, and I think Ken amended that in his motion, so.
Oh, he did.
Yes,
I did.
thank you.
Yeah.
Amending.
And I'll second that.
Okay. So any further questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries. Move on to the cash balance report and financial statements.
Right, so you see the original, as of 3/31, we owed, we had allocated $30,000 towards the train viewing platform. That project has commenced and is underway because it's considered essential as a safety issue adjacent to the railway. So we provided funding, our $20,000 funding. We still owe a balance of $10,000 as we are committed to the public art component of that project, which the Public Art Committee sent out a request for art, and that is due May 1st. So we'll see that.
What was their budget for that? For their art?
Oh, the art was
Yeah.
10.
Oh, so we're funding the whole thing? I thought I saw something in there in their request that they sent out for a higher number, but I don't know.
I'd have to go back and look at that.
Yeah, and I might be confused on something else, so.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right, so all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Oh, wait a second, that was on, we're talking about the balances. I got out of whack here. We had already passed that. We had already passed the bills. This was on just the financial statements. Sorry.
Mhm.
So put that approval in our pocket for something else down the line.
Not going to be the loans, though, I don't think.
Go ahead, Martha, and remind me that we're live streaming.
Yes. We're live streaming.
We are going to put the loan status report at the end of our agenda.
Yes, after,
For the
we could go ahead and look at the financials and then do the loan modification and then any new business and then take the loan status report. And I asked the chair and the attorney if we could take that last because with live streaming, we'd end the broadcast at that point when we moved into an executive session.
Which we obviously cannot live stream an executive session.
Correct.
So with that, then it started off on the cash and financial statements to see if there's anything to highlight. We still are carrying reserves for a number of those things. If you want to talk to any of that, Martha.
Right, the train watching. There has been discussion in the last month with regard to the village moving forward on the parking lot repaving behind Ricky's, T-Foots, and Shorts. And so we had kind of set aside monies to fund those. Currently, we have one approval in place. I have had communications from another individual, but no formal application. And it looks like the third individual might self-fund it. But I don't know the status of that project at this time, or it was still out there with, because the village is coordinating this with a local contractor because it'll end up with 4 separate contracts. I do know that the village electric, Fairport Electric, has been out and putting in their new lighting into the project. So this could still move forward, I'm sure, with what's going on currently. The owners are reconsidering debt at this time. So,
Okay.
And then the balance of the train watching again is now just 10,000, and the 43,000 remains in the Lift Bridge Impact Fund. That will be reactivated, I think, as we move forward. It'll be refocused to support any efforts that the merchants undertake. We had originally, our next event was going to be a press conference May 15th that coincided with the canal opening and was going to announce new parade routes and festival layouts and so forth. But that's, so right now, as everyone knows, the Canal Days has been canceled. Next big event would be Fairport Music Fest, which we don't know yet how that's going to happen. And of course, the 4th of July one as well. I talked with the chamber president, Jim Bellata, who also runs the 4th of July parade. And he's confident that the party in the park that follows that won't be happening. I think he's still a little, I don't believe they've made a decision on the parade at this time.
Okay. Well, Dr. Fauci said that we will be able to celebrate, it was Dr. Mendoza said we will be able to celebrate the 4th of July.
Great.
He just doesn't know how.
Okay.
I like that guy.
Okay. Good for him. I like him too.
We may have to sit in our living room and wave little flags at each other.
Mhm.
Well, hopefully we'll be outside by then. So.
Yes.
All right.
We can all drink 6 feet apart.
Yeah.
We are live streaming.
Oh, darn it.
Okay. Anything else on
Feisty.
financials?
No.
All right, as I said, we're going to skip over loan status so we can go into old business. The loan approval modification.
Right, we have that one, as I referenced, one of the borrowers for the parking lot loans asked that we could just modify. He's already signed his commitment letter and he's ready to go with us. He's asked that instead, could we modify the terms so that repayment does not begin until January of 2021, which sounds like a reasonable request on his behalf. So, but we'd need a board approval for that.
Does anyone have any problems with that?
What's the amount of the loan?
He is approved up to 45,000 because when he came in early in January, we were still operating on last year's bid on this project. Apparently now the prices are expected to come in much lower, right, Kevin? About because of the asphalt.
The oil prices?
Oil prices.
Price
Thank you.
index. Price index.
Yes.
It's a price index. Yes.
So we have him approved up to 45, but I think it'll be, and will be secure. This again is also be secured by a real estate mortgage.
But I think
Okay.
we also want to make sure, I mean, if he's not, just like any of our loans, he is going to draw on that loan for a specific purpose, right, Ed?
Yes.
We're not gonna,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's not gonna take part and then buy inventory with, you know, the unused portion of that letter. It's not just a letter of credit, so.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So we need a motion to do that,
Yes, please.
and that is for Jeff Harder.
Correct.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Motion Leslie, second Rob. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I
Aye.
Motion carries. Other old business. I think we'd probably all like to hear a project update. Oh, that was IDA. For some,
Well, we can talk about what the IDA, right. With regard to the Southwest Bank, if you've
Yeah.
had the opportunity to walk down there, they have put the piles in for the docks. They have poured the concrete wall for the kayak dock on the western end. They've put in a lot of the riprap and backfilled against the wall, the concrete wall. The electric has not been buried yet. Fairport Electric, after all, decided to actually possibly sub that out to Crane Hogan. And I believe initially the project was moving forward as on an essential basis because of safety issues involved. Again, with they wanted to get them out of the water line, and also, you know, there's gaping holes and open, you know, manholes. So that's been there. So they're working to bring that project to a safe position. I am not sure how much more will continue after that. Again, it's a village project, so a village and an FMC project. So I don't have that update about how much farther it will go. But it looks great already. If anybody hasn't been down, it's just, you can imagine it now. You can really see what it's going to look like. And the views to the bridge are fantastic. So just be careful.
anything else for old business?
No, I think if we can, just next meeting, can we talk about the Lift Bridge Impact Fund and understanding how there's going to be an impact where we're not able to do as much of this in-person, in-person event stuff to drive attention and awareness to the village and to the heart of the village there with the Lift Bridge, but socially, you know, we can do stuff digitally, I think, where we can still have an impact, and maybe we can I know that's already part of the plan, but maybe we can double down on that aspect of it to help drive awareness and keep that on people's radar that we're here and we're helping.
Yep, absolutely.
Great
Mhm.
idea. Yep. And we'll have a little better picture to where we are a
Yeah.
month from.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. All right. Any new business or is, yes, that.
Yep.
All right. I would like to ask for a motion to enter executive session to discuss loans, delinquencies, and possible litigation. So,
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
okay, we have Rob move, Ken second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, so hold on
Aye.
while I stop the live stream, okay? Let me got two mouses, all right, let me just,
Mouses or mice?
mice, right.
Word nerd.
It's a good catch. It's a good
Oh,
catch.
okay.
Now that the live stream is over, we can really talk about 4th of
Oh,
July.
wait, but it's not quite yet. I really, Ed, have you still got it open over there?
I'm not showing the YouTube. I'm just saying it's recording.
Okay. Because
Yeah, it says recording.